Transformies, big transforming boys.
Oh hi, Swiften here. On today's very special episode, I'm going to be reviewing Perfect Effects Dark Gorilla, also known as Nemesis Gorilla. This is a great figure. Again, I love Perfect Effect. I'm a Perfect Effect fanboy. One of the issues I had with the older ones is that they're kind of floppy. But as you'll see, this transforms into a monkey, and
I like monkey. I like a monkey. I like monkey. He likes a monkey. I like that monkey. I like monkey. And this monkey. And that monkey. This monkey. I like a monkey. I like monkey.
so yeah, I really like Optimus Primal. He is my favorite, and I really like this version of him. Let's get into it. Okay, so now for the design. I really like again, you know, if you've watched my channel at all, you know I like Perfect Effect figures. I like their design a lot. This is obviously a repaint of the original Optimal Optimus using the original Optimus Prime's colors. So in that sense, it's meant to sort of harken back to that original look of Optimus Primal, but there's a difference here which comes in the head sculpt. Now, if you look at the head sculpt, it's really great. However, it tends to look evil, you know, and the thing obviously is this figure is named Nemesis Gorilla, essentially. So it probably is meant to represent a evil take on Optimal Optimus, but, you know, since it's using the original Primal's color scheme, I don't feel like that maybe was their intention. So if I had one complaint about the design, just for, you know, from an overarching point, is it's really just the head. Just looks a little too evil. I kind of wish it sort of looked a bit more like Primal, like the original Optimal Optimus head. I wish it had the mouth option here. That being said, it's a really great design. I'm going to go through some points here. You know, obviously it's very, you know, this is a very geared out looking figure, right? You have like the long cannons, you have these like missile pods on the sides. You know, it's got that classic sort of like Perfect Effect, thin waist. You know, I've probably said it 15 times on this channel, but like the Gundam-esque sort of look. It's, you know, it's cool looking. If you like the, you know, obviously Optimal Optimus's design is pretty all over the place. You know, it's a transmetal looking gorilla who turns kind of into a truck and kind of into a jet. I think they did a really fantastic job with the look. I'm very big in sort of seeing like new takes on the characters, and I'm not always super excited about like their originals, like the original look, because at that point I think, well, I might as well just buy the originals then. But, you know, if you look here, it's very solid looking. The color scheme is great. You kind of lose that metal sort of look on the shoulders here just because they're painted black, but this is still that same sort of like metallic paint that you see on the other pieces here. Like, so say like this is a metallic, it's sort of like a metallic fleck, so is this, but you lose it a bit on what was classically like the metal looking parts of Primal. Does a really good job of kind of hiding everything in the back. So under there, you'll have his like, you know, beast mode head and like the wheel. But obviously this is just the same backpack that Primal had. And of course you have these cannons, which could extend, but I would honestly recommend never doing it. But yeah, the design, from a design perspective, the robot mode is just really nice. If you update to the look, sorry for that horrible sound. You know, this is a great take on the character, and the color scheme actually really benefits the gorilla mode. And just a quick aside here with what I'm talking about with the mouth. So if you look to the left, obviously you see the Masterpiece Optimus Primal. Having that mouth showing says to me classic Optimus Primal. Not having it, you know, it just doesn't show the character to me as much. I know he had that as an option, but let's be real, 90% of the time he has his mouth showing. So I wish they at least had a swap out for the faceplate. For accessories out of the box, he comes with this rifle. And that's it. Just this rifle. And you know what? That's good. That's what I want. I hate when figures come with too many parts. For a figure of this size, they have a lot of flexibility. We have a ratchet at the hip, ratchet at the knee. You got a pretty good bend at the, whatever this part is, knee, I think. You can finagle it a bit with the, because of the transformation, but that's about as good as you're gonna get. Tilt at the ankle. You have full 360-degree movement here. The toe, big toe move. Tiny, no ab crunch. Not really much of one. You can unpeg it from the back here, but the cockpit sort of gets in the way. You get a pretty good split. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Pretty good. Almost, I think it could go further, but I'm not gonna push it. Probably my favorite piece of posability is the chest actually comes out. You can get a lot more dynamic poses here with that. The wing can move 360 degrees and also flip over. It's a little tight. You have a pretty good bend at the elbow here. Kind of just feels like a standard friction joint. 360-degree rotation. The fingers are all individually posable. Very cool. Obviously the thumb is as well. The head, you can look all around. It's just a single ball joint, but you know, it's pretty standard. And if you want, you can see this false little matrix in the cockpit there. The guns come out, and they also extend.
Kinda looks like shit.
No rotation at the waist as far as I can tell. But yeah, honestly, even with the, you know, not as great mobility as some of the figures that Perfect Effect has previously made, it's, on the flip side, one of the sturdiest ones they've ever made. The only weak point really is this sort of tiny slot where it pegs in the back to kind of keep two of the modes together. But I think that's not even a big deal. It's worse in Gorilla mode, but I'll show that as we go. Okay, for comparison, here's Nemesis Gorilla with the original Optimal Optimus, Masterpiece Optimus Primal, a monkey. Whatever this Optimus Primal is, the OG himself, the original Optimus Primal.
And ba-boom!
So yeah, as you can see, he is pretty big. He's not like massive, but he scales pretty well with Mega Dragon. And you know, he's about maybe a head taller than the original Optimal Optimus. This is a quad former. So on to my least favorite part of making these videos, the transformations. Now for jet mode. Real quick note on the jet mode transformation. When taking the rifle out, be really careful because the peg on the rifle is actually pretty soft, and then this piece is a really, really tight connection. And as you can see, my peg actually came off the gun when I was transforming it. Okay, so here you have their take on Primal's jet mode. Obviously they've taken some liberties with this design. I think it's definitely better. It looks a little more believable as a jet. I mean, it still kind of gives you that, you know, guy laying on his stomach with wings, but I think it's better. You can alternately do the classic sort of Primal transformation here with the arms forward. Not going to show that. We all know what that looks like, and this is kind of their more official, I would say, take on this. Rolls really well in this form, actually, surprisingly. Yeah, it's pretty good. Now for the ground assault form. So at the end of the day, I'm still a little new to filming these, and I had some technical issues here. So you're going to see the review portion of this is missing, and also the transformation of the gorilla. Just to quickly give my thoughts on the truck mode, it's passable. You know, it kind of just looks like the same as the jet mode. Big improvement over the original, but still, you know, not that great. And again, here I unfortunately lost some of the footage, so we're going to just really skip through this beast mode transformation here. Something happened with my camera. But either way, I'm going to get right into it. Here he is with Optimus Primal. As you can see, he benefits greatly from sharing the same color scheme as the original Primal. He's way more convincing as a gorilla. Obviously he doesn't look like a gorilla, unless they're, from Horizon Zero Dawn or something, but looks really good. I mean, it's a cohesive mode. It's definitely a lot better than, the quote-unquote vehicle modes. But, I like it a lot. It has an expressive face, really great detail in there. The jaw opens and closes. It shares sort of the same posability as the robot mode, but it's mostly in the arms, aka not very posable. Mainly because the legs have to fold up to give him that sort of like short-legged gorilla type look here. But, it's great. If you want to, pretend it's a gorilla, this is a real weighty looking War Machine-esque gorilla. Really like the look of this one. Can definitely say that pretty much in every mode, I'm happy with it. I'm happy with this guy as a gorilla. I'm happy with him, very happy with him as his robot mode. And, yeah, even the two quote-unquote vehicle modes look pretty good. I mean, like if you're a kid and you're playing with them, you're gonna have a lot of fun. The transformation gets a little like dicey feeling at times, but it always comes back pretty solid. The weakest part of it, I would say, structurally, is just where it connects here. So this has to connect into this little, it sort of like just like grasps onto it, and it's not that great at keeping it structurally together in its beast mode. It works a lot better in its robot mode. That being said, when you're sort of just having them on a stand or whatever like this, it's super stable. The arms support the whole figure here. And for comparisons, here he is with the original Optimal Optimus. Here he is with the original Beast Wars Optimus Primal. Here he is with wherever the hell this is from, Optimal Optimus. You got Masterpiece Optimus Primal here. And this guy again for some reason. Here he is with Optimus Minor. Love him. Okay, so here are my thoughts. I love this one. When I first got it, I told people on Discord that this is probably my number one now, and maybe it might not be my number one, but it's up there. I mean, it's cool. I honestly just wish maybe I got the Optimal Optimus color scheme, but I really like this version too. It would probably be perfect for me if it had the the head sculpt of Optimus, of their Optimal Optimus, instead of like this like sort of like, angrier looking version of it. That being said, I mean, it's a minor complaint. It's a mode he's had in the show. you know, when he was in his first form, pretty much he could always make the faceplate, you know, come on his face. So it works. It's cool. I like it. Probably one of my favorite. I absolutely would recommend it. This is probably the first figure on this channel in a whopping 3 reviews that I absolutely would recommend this figure. I really can't think of any reason other than if you don't like the color scheme. And if you don't like the color scheme, there are 2 others. There's the original color scheme, and then there is a Primal Prime version of the figure that looks really, really cool. I was only able to get this version because I kind of came to it late, but I like this color. I like all the color schemes they have of this figure, and I just love the figure. It's really, really good. This is a beefy boy. He's a beefy boy. Look at that. So, you know, on this channel, I like to say display or play. And it's basically, should you just display this guy? Should you just play with it? Or both? For this one, I would say both. The only caveat is that because the waist is kind of attached pretty loosely in the gorilla mode, and that's your only real problem there, is it might you know, disconnect, but really, as long as you hold it sort of like this, it's not an issue. So yeah, this figure looks great on the shelf. It's fun to play with, so, you know, maybe if your kid's like 8 to 12 or something, like, you know, you might enjoy it. But yeah, it's great all around. Definitely 2 thumbs up from me, one of my favorites. And, you know, I like monkey.